No touchy, especially not a fan of Diamond FM. Don't touch that radio set.
The time is 9 o'clock.
Aago mẹ́sàn-án ti lù.
From news to sports, current affairs to entertainment, beautiful music, amazing programs, we got you all covered at Diamond 88.7 FM.
For the best of national, local, international news and sport, tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
It is 1 minute gone past 9. A very pleasant morning to you and thank you for joining us on today's edition of News Spot on Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin, where we bring you the trending stories across the world. I am Tobi Adebisi and here are the stories making waves across the world this morning. In Nigeria, the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF Abubakar Malami, yesterday asked the Supreme Court to dismiss a suit filed by 3 state governments challenging the new Naira redesign policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. In a preliminary objection filed by the AGF through his lawyers, Mahmoud Magaji and Tijani Ghazali, the federal government argued that the Supreme Court lacks jurisdiction to entertain the suit. In court filings dated February 8, 2023, the AGF contends that the plaintiffs have equally not shown reasonable cause of action against the defendant. 3 state governments, Kaduna, Kogi and Zamfara, had sued the federal government over the Naira redesign policy of the CBN. In politics, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it is investigating the circumstances surrounding its Twitter account liking a post relating to a presidential candidate. The INEC's official Twitter account yesterday liked a post in which Seun Kuti, son of Fela Anikulapo Kuti, criticized Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party LP. Kuti in the post describes the LP candidate as an opportunist that can't deliver Nigeria. The incident caused the commission to come under heavy criticism, with many Twitter users accusing INEC of bias. On Bolanle Abdurrahim's court case, the armorer at the Ajiwe police station in Aja, Lagos State, Inspector Adamu Shaibu, has testified in the murder trial of Drambi Vandi, an assistant superintendent of police ASP who allegedly shot Lagos-based lawyer Bolanle Rahim on Christmas Day 2022. Led in evidence by the Lagos State Attorney General Moyosore Onigbonjo, SAN, the armorer told Justice Ibironke Harrison that 2 of the 25 rounds of ammunition allotted to Vandi were missing from his AK-47 rifle after he was disarmed on the day of the incident. Shaibu said that he noticed the shortage of bullets when he received the AK-47 from another officer that disarmed Vandi. Vandi is accused of shooting Mrs. Rahim last December 25 around Aja Under Bridge, Lagos. At his arraignment, he pleaded not guilty. On the foreign scene, freezing temperatures deepened the misery this morning for survivors of a massive earthquake in Turkey and Syria that killed at least 15,000 people as rescuers raced to save countless people still trapped under rubble. The death toll from Monday's 7.8 magnitude quake is expected to rise. Survivors have been left to scramble for food and shelter, and in some cases watch helplessly as their relative called for rescue and eventually went silent under the debris. Turkish police have also detained 18 people over provocative social media posts that criticized the government's response. In sports, Manchester United boss Eric Ten Hag has issued a warning to Jadon Sancho after the England forward returned to the team in their 2-2 draw with Leeds United yesterday's night. The Dutchman also said he was delighted to see Sancho score one of his side's goals, but warned the winger he has to continue to work hard to continue getting chances in the first team. The Red Devils came from 2 goals down to secure a 2-2 draw against Leeds at Old Trafford, with Marcus Rashford and Sancho rescuing the day. That's all we have for you on this edition of News Sponge. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we bring the analysis of the stories. Do stay with us.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, so help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hurt Indomine? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to the Diamond Breakfast Show, and a very pleasant morning to you. The discussion this morning is a lengthy one, and it's about issues concerning us. I mean, some of the most relevant issues in Nigeria right now and are on the table for us to look at. And do not forget that you get to be a part of the conversation. So just keep your fingers crossed, listen with rapt attention, and then let us have your reactions when the time comes. To do this with me this morning is Barrister Adebisi Adedayo. He's a legal practitioner, veteran journalist, and public affairs analyst. Good morning, sir, and it's nice to have you in the house this morning.
Good morning, listeners at home. I hope we are just coping with the prevalent circumstance we find ourselves in this country.
And how is the how is the Naira redesign treating you, Barrister?
Well, to be frank with you, it's not treating me well. And I think ditto for other Nigerians.
Yeah.
Of course, from what we see within our immediate environment, as well as what we even read in the media, we find ourselves in a situation where we are now using our money, to buy the money that we have, even in the bank. You see, even the POS that most of us do patronize now, none of them, at least I want to say 90% of the POS operators didn't have this cash. And some of them who are fortunate perhaps to have just little of the money, they leave their home as early as 4 a.m.
to go to the bank.
To go to the bank. Because I have one very close to my house. And each morning when I get to his, the point where he is operating his POS, I will not meet him. And when I put a call to him, he said,
I'm in bank.
I am in the bank. And I've been in this bank since 4 a.m. I mean, it is not something that is laughable. And it is not something that is going well with an average Nigeria. I mean, for those of us who are in urban center, then what are we going to say about the rural dwellers?
Who are not,
Recently, I traveled to my hometown. Throughout the length and breadth of my hometown, there was no single POS that has cash with them. And the unfortunate thing again is that You see, the government is saying we should run a cashless economy
Policy,
and whatever.
economy.
Yes. Now, if I said, okay, let me transfer some cash, you say, no, I won't take any transfer because as you see me, I didn't even have any bank account. So that is for the rural dwellers, especially the women who are selling vegetables, who are selling pepper and what have you. So we are not finding it easy at all. We are not finding it easy.
I can also, I have similar experiences because in my area, you also do not find people who have POS operators who have a lot of cash. They do not even have cash. And those that have cash, I spoke to one yesterday. I said to withdraw 1,000 naira, how much would it cost? And they said 200 naira to withdraw 1,000 naira. Yes. It speaks volume of what is going on. I mean, this morning I didn't have money to come to work. My dad had to give me money to come to work. So I understand when people are talking about it. Now,
in fact, last week that I traveled home, I got to Oro and I withdrew 10,000 naira. In fact, the POS operator took 1,500 naira as commission.
As commission, can you
imagine
that? Thanks so much, Barrister Adedayo. And on that premise, we are starting our discussion for the day. The Supreme Court yesterday issued an interim injunction restraining the federal government from suspending the acceptance of the old Naira notes on the Friday, February 10, 2023 deadline. Now, before yesterday's judgment at the Supreme Court, Honorable Justice Eneojo Eneche of the Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday issued an order prohibiting President Muhammadu Buhari, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, and 27 commercial banks from suspending, interfering with, or extending the February 10 deadline or issuing any other directive concerning that date. In less than 48 hours, the conversation changed from stopping further extension of the deadline to maintaining that status quo as the deliberation on the issue continues on February 15th in the court. Now, for the past few weeks, the Naira redesign looked to be a dangling conversation as people were giving their opinions in contrasting views. From the economic notion to politics, it looks evident that the whole issue is multifaceted. Also, do not forget that the IMF, International Monetary Fund, that organization also advised the government and the agency to push forward the deadline. Now, the Supreme Court ruling is by relevance the latest on the issue, and this is the first conversation we're going to be having this morning. Now, just briefly, I want you to give your reaction to that thing coming up. The IMF giving advice to the federal government and the CBN, the Supreme Court's injunction, and then the judgment on Monday also. What would you say is your reaction to that in just 1 minute?
Okay. My reaction to the advice given by the International Monetary Fund is that they are saying the obvious. Because don't forget, IMF is an international body, and most often than not, they do advise the different nations of the world, especially who are members of this IMF, on what to do on their monetary policies. So what they have said is very germane, and it is something that is welcome by me. Now, talking about the ruling given by the Federal High Court to the fact that President Muhammadu Buhari, Godwin Emefiele, the CBN governor, should not extend beyond February 10. And you see, by hierarchy of courts in Nigeria, the Supreme Court is the apex court. Anything, any ruling, any judgment given by the Supreme Court, there's no other court that any litigant can apply to, because that is the apex court. And based on the interim order given by the Supreme Court to the fact that both the old notes and the new notes should circulate pari passu, and don't forget, it's an interim order will last for some time pending the hearing of the substantive suit. And that substantive suit has been fixed for 15th of February, which is next week, I think.
Yeah,
for
February 15th.
Yes, for the parties, both the federal government and the three governors, namely Governor of Kaduna, Zamfara, and Kogi State, to come and open their case before the Supreme Court for hearing. So whatever anybody is saying may be subjudiced because the matter is with the Supreme Court and it has not been adjudicated upon.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's go on a short commercial break and we'll be right back. The DBS continues.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
ikú parapọ̀ ikú ọmọlé èrún parapọ̀ wọ́n máa gìyàn gbogbo ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara ẹja parapọ̀ sóríire látara ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú People's Democratic Party PDP ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú tó mẹ̀tọ́ tó mú káyọ̀ gbẹdẹmukẹ fún tolórí tẹlẹ́mù tó nílé tàlejò nígbà tí wọ́n ṣèjọba ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP láàánú mẹ̀kúnnù bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n kó àkóyawọ́ àwọn àkànṣe iṣẹ́ jàǹkànjàǹkàn ní díẹ̀ nínú àwọn iṣẹ́ tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP ti ṣe sẹ́yìn ẹja tara ṣàṣàgbá káàdì ìdìbò wa ká parapọ̀ dẹ́gbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP padà àní sọ̀bùnú bẹ́ẹ̀ là ní ṣìbòdì.
ẹ̀yin ará Kwara mi ọ̀wọ́n ká dìbò fẹ́gbẹ́ tó láàánú ará ìlú ó sú wa ẹ jẹ́ ká dìbò fún ẹgbẹ́ PDP.
PDP, power to the people.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
You're welcome back, and it's still the Diamond Breakfast Show on Diamond 88.7 FM. Let's move on in our conversation. Now, there is a huge concern about the policy from the start. There have been a lot of reactions to that. It was introduced with less formative structures to effect the difficulties in transition to the CBN proposal. It was introduced 6 months before the election, and that introduction was not even that. It was introduced and people started getting the current from that time. It was introduced in terms of this is what we're doing. It was the informative level that was even introduced to the people, not implementative level. Now, what and who do you fault for the problems that came with the policy?
Okay, you see, first and foremost, the current problems we are facing as Nigerians regarding the new Naira note, that is talking of 1,000 Naira, 500 Naira and 200 Naira, started with the Apex Bank, which is the Central Bank of Nigeria. Don't forget that this new Naira note was shown or became a legal tender to the members of the public by December 15. Now, assuming without considering that December 15, that the CBN released huge amount of the new Naira note to the commercial banks, then by now, we wouldn't have been facing the problem we are facing. That is one. Two, what I feel the CBN ought to have done is that this new Naira note should go pari passu with the old note. Because the time frame, the time band given to the circulation of the Naira I've mentioned, 1,500 and 200 Naira, is too short. Because if you look at advanced countries, for even 4 years, if the Americans want to change the dollar or the Britain wants to change their pound sterling, it will go pari passu for almost 4 years. And by the time the old notes are coming in back to the commercial bank, they will not release it back again.
Back to the
But
people.
The problem we have, since the day it was mentioned, and the day the new Naira note came to public glare, the commercial banks too have been releasing old notes to their customers. And I believe that was what was released to them, even by the central bank. So the central bank, to my mind, didn't emphasize the problem that all of us are having, and that would be too unfortunate for that bank. Because first and foremost, you know the liquidity ratio of Nigerians. You know the amount of cash that Nigerians, especially as the general election is fast approaching. So it should have released enough money, enough cash to the commercial bank. And don't also forget, based on what we read in the media, that even there are some managers of commercial banks that also compromise their ethics. I read of recent of a commercial bank, which I'm not going to mention the name of that bank, somewhere in the east, wherein a politician requested for 300 million naira, and the bargain was that, okay, you as the manager of the bank, take 50 million
out of it,
just give me 250 million naira. The good thing is that the said manager of that bank has been arrested now,
of course.
And we also heard of what also happened even in Abuja and some other states. So to me, apart from the fact that the CBN contributed very mostly
to what way?
To the problem we are
having.
Right. Even the commercial banks
now,
too.
Less than 2 hours after the ruling, a lot of people believe that the purpose of the Naira redesign, vote buying, which they think or they know is vote buying, has been defeated. I want to know if you share the same sentiment. But then, you do not. Do you? Do you share the same sentiment?
I didn't share the sentiment. I don't.
All right.
For obvious reasons.
All right. Now, the president can use his executive power to overturn these judgments. That's something that we all know. If he does, what opinion will this give to the common man, economic experts, and politicians?
Well, let me start by
stating your reasons. Yes,
by reacting to the fact that vote buying will be curbed. No. You see, the politicians, they have different tactics, and they are ahead of Nigerians. Yesterday, I received an SMS to the fact that one political party, which I'm not going to mention, said I should send my account details for them to send 75,000 naira to me. But of course, I know that was the handiwork of scammers. So I never bothered myself. But that is to tell you that what the scammers are doing to that effect is what many of our politicians have in mind. They won't go to the polling booth with raw cash. All they needed doing is that they have their field workers, and they might have collected account details of voters. So all what they need doing is to send the money to the various account details. That is on one side. Then coming back to the second question, which is that
the president can use
executive power. Well, the president I will have, I believe that he believes so much in the rule of law, and he may or he will not do anything that will add to the burdens of Nigerians that gave him the mandate. So I don't believe that he will use any, and at any rate, if he decides to use any executive power to overturn that judgment, well, it will not go well for an average Nigerian, because every one of us know what we are passing through presently. So that may not go well at all for us, but I don't believe that he's going to do that.
All right, thank you so much. There have been a lot of reactions to this. A lot of people are bashing the Supreme Court. A lot of people are bashing the 3 governors who applied for the suit and all of that. But some of the reactions that piqued my interest while strolling on Twitter and looking into the issue is one posted by a Twitter name by the name Louis Brain, and it says, in summary, the Supreme Court has restrained PMB from implementing the February 10 deadline in the Naira swap policy of the CBN. Motion was filed by some APC governors against the leadership of APC. That says a lot about the party, but we're not here to talk about the intra-party conflict today. Yeah. Also, someone says, when it affects politicians, court proceedings or hearings are very fast. Within 48 hours, you hear judgments in different courts from different states. Politicians are the problem we have in this country. All the sufferings in the country were created by them. Do you also think that this proceeding or this hearing was fast or is fast because it was brought by high-ranking, citizens of the country?
No. We shouldn't forget of the fact that, you see, even the honorable justices of Supreme Court, as well as other justices of other courts, they are Nigerians. And this particular motion ex parte borders on all Nigerians. And in fact, what my lords, the Supreme Court judges did is what they are expected to do. Because if they didn't do that, already it is going into a state of anarchy in Nigeria. And we can witness that.
Somebody raised that, yeah.
Yes. You see a situation where the bank customers attack the bank staff to the extent that some of the staff are now jumping over the fence. You see, in fact, I saw a video yesterday where the bank customers were boxing each other. This thing is going to a state of anarchy. And don't forget, there was also a scenario in Sapan in Ogun State, where one boy was shot.
Yeah.
Based on the protests being carried out by some Nigerians. So this thing is getting to a level that may be difficult for any security agent to manage, or even any government. And that was the reasoning used by the Supreme Court judges to attend and give ruling on the motion ex parte brought by the 3 APC governors to the
All right. Another Twitter user by the name Adekunle says, this Supreme Court judgment has not changed anything, and I don't think it will do in a foreseeable future. The old notes has been sufficiently mopped up from circulation, and the new notes are yet nowhere to be found. I think that is one angle that we should think about also in all of these things, because the banks have already taken in like a substantial amount of the old notes. That's one of the reasons we have these difficulties in the first place. They've already mopped up these old notes, and the new notes out there are not sufficient. So this ruling, I don't know. But then let's get reactions from our people outside. 09136556952. That's the number to call to give your reaction. Let's begin to get your reaction. What do you think about the ruling? Do you think that the court ruling will change anything for us? Do you think that the court ruling will make the CBN to churn out, the currencies that we need at this point? Or do you think otherwise? What do you think exactly? To send in your text messages 080-299-26951. Once again, to send in your messages, your text messages, 080-299-26951. And for your calls, 091-3655-6952. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This comrade, Adebisi from Moro.
All right, thank you. Let's have you.
Let me appreciate your getting studio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You see, instead of taking of money, instead of the Supreme Court judgment, I really appreciate the people that carry that matter to Supreme Court, because we have opportunity to go to the bank every day by day. You will know the sovereign that we are sovereign. Even me as an example, I go to bank every day. The bank give me either 2,000 or 2,500. I go there by 6:20. I will leave bank around 3:30 p.m. every day. At the end of the day, I got 3,000, 2,000, 1,500 every day. So now, you see the sovereign, the 200 million Nigerian citizens are suffering every day. So, see this thing, we are not about it with it. So, I appreciate the Supreme Court of Judgment. So, we will be waiting today how that judgment will affect. So, thank you. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much. All right, let's know what you think about the Supreme Court's ruling. Do you think that this is in any way going to change anything for Nigerians? Do you think that this would change the heart of the CBN governor and make him decide to reel out money for us? Hello.
Hello, good
morning.
Hi, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Dr. Zil from Cherokee.
All right, let's have you, Dr. Zio.
Yeah. You see, on this, Supreme Court judgment will work because even the judges of the Supreme Court are also having issues that they are having too on this money. So they will not want it because they are the apex level of our judiciary. So they will want to stand to show that the suffering is also reduced. But the suffering cannot just reduce now if you continue for some time because as we speak, the CBN and the federal government, they know the secret meeting they had when they wanted to bring this policy. So when they brought this policy, they are the only ones that understand it. And instead of them to think ahead, they do not think ahead of what it.
All right, we lost that call. Let's go for a short commercial break and we will be right back. But in the meantime, you can send in your messages to us on WhatsApp on 091 and for your text messages only 080 299 26951. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Everyone loves an upgrade, but with DSTV, you get boosted to a whole new level. Upgrade to more football and get boosted to the most heart-racing sports moments. Upgrade to your favorite shows and get boosted to emotions like never before. Upgrade to the best action movies and get boosted to high-octane scenes that make you shout, woo!
Upgrade your DSTV package and DSTV will boost you to the next higher package. Offer valid from January 25th to March 31st. Terms and conditions apply.
Aṣíwájú bọ̀ wá o. Aṣíwájú bọ̀. Òun àti Ṣètìmá. Fún ìlọsíwájú Nàìjíríà. Fún ètò ààbò tó gbèrègèdè. Kí Nàìjíríà lè dára sí i. Aṣíwájú.
Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà rere, àkókò ti tó láti yan ẹni náà tí yóò ru ẹrù Nàìjíríà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ààrẹ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe ń dìbò, ẹ dìbò fún olóye tó ní ètò pẹ̀lú ọgbọ́n àtinúdá fún ìrẹ́pọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wa kí orílẹ̀-èdè yìí lè ní ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ àti ọrọ̀ ajé tó gbópọn pẹ̀lú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àìsìkí fèmí àti ìwọ.
Aṣíwájú ń bọ̀ wá o. Òun àti Ṣètìmá. Fún ìlọsíwájú Nàìjíríà, ẹ dìbò fún Aṣíwájú.
Ẹ dìbò fún Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu fún ipò ààrẹ àti Sẹ́nitọ́ Kashim Shettima gẹ́gẹ́ bí igbákejì ààrẹ.
APC Progress.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Alrighty, welcome back, and it's still the Diamond Breakfast Show on Diamond 88.7 FM. Let's get more of your reactions before we move on to the second topic. 09136556952. That's the number to call. And for your text messages, 080-299-26951. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is David from Danny and you.
All right, thank you, David. Let's have you.
Now, I stand to be corrected, but then I wouldn't know whether the law has been amended. But to the best of my knowledge, whatever the Supreme Court rules stands, and no president can change that. No president. Otherwise, there's nothing called Supreme Court. The only thing the president or whoever is the head of state can do is to call for what do you call it? His lawyers and his minister for justice and so on to put some things and direct it back to the Supreme Court. But whatever is the ruling in the Supreme Court stands. So, to the best of my knowledge, whatever is happening now, and I think this is what has happened, where the minister of for justice has written or through his lawyers to appeal to the Supreme Court judgment, and so that stands. Then, as far as we are concerned in the country, be it that we believe that things will go the way it ought to go. People will decide, and not the feudal lords. We are not running an empire where the emperor takes everything in his own listing. This is a people's republic. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much. Barrister Adedayo, do you want to say something about that?
Yes. I align my position with the last speaker.
Okay.
In fact, by virtue of what we have in the country, and in fact, in our statutory book, which is the 1999 Constitution as amended, there's nobody, including the president, that can overturn any judgment.
The president's executive order cannot do this.
It cannot, because the Supreme Court is the final arbiter. Just like the last speaker said, if the president is not disposed to the judgment of the Supreme Court, what he can do is to approach his Attorney General file a kind of review. Let the Supreme Court review and don't forget, this is not a final judgment, it's just an interlocutory order.
Right. Okay, thanks. I have this reaction on WhatsApp, and it says, "Good morning, presenter and the guest. I don't think there is judgment in Nigeria. If there is judgment, what court says should stand. But who is the federal government and who is the courts in Nigeria?" That one is coming from JC Obasan from Offa. All right, very quickly, let's move on to the second topic. Our time is running, So the second topic is about another thing that is eating deeply into our bones in Nigeria. 16 days to the conduct of the general elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, affirms that the two major encumbrances faced by the commission has been resolved. Now, the INEC chief identified that petrol scarcity and the currency challenge instituted challenges that have now been resolved following assurances by the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, who has proffered a solution. He explained that all its accounts, both national and state, are held by the Apex Bank, and anticipates that the elections will not be delayed. He equally noted that the commission has met with relevant stakeholders to address the challenge of petrol scarcity after interfacing with the leadership of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited. Guess the update came at the right time, or what do you think?
Yes, the update came at the right time. And the good news is that the INEC boss has assured Nigerians that there's nothing stopping the election of 25 February year 2023. And the CBN governor too, Godwin Emefiele, has also assured that as far as the challenges being raised or being envisaged by the INEC boss, that he should not worry. The CBN is there to address that challenges, and there will not be any problem. You see, the group managing director of NNPC Limited, that is Kiari, also said something recently, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, to the fact that apart from the supply of fuel from the NNPC Limited, that there are other bottlenecks that is accountable why we have the current problem. And he also went ahead to also assure that within the next few weeks, all the queues that we have in the filling stations will visual out. Well, let's give him benefit of the doubt anyway. But for what I also know, don't forget that it is not only the major marketers that have to distribute fuel, even the independent marketers. So all these stakeholders in the oil industry should please again have the masses at heart. Though the independent marketers said the landing cost of fuel to their station, it cannot pay them for them to sell at what the government approved one price, which is 185 naira or 195 naira thereabout. So all these things they should try as much as possible to reconcile, so that Nigerians will not face any further problem. More so when the election is just, we are in the eve of election.
Of course,
now.
of course.
We cannot afford to face any challenge that will prevent Nigerians from electing the next set of rulers.
All right, so for those who are still asking whether the election will happen come February 25, this is a clarity, this is an update to that effect. I remember one of my friends was also asking me yesterday, we were having a discussion about the elections and everything happening in Nigeria, and he was like, Tobi, what are you hearing? You're in the media and all of that. Are they saying that the election will hold? And I was like, INEC didn't say that the elections will not hold. So the elections are bound to hold, as scheduled. Now, Naira and fuel scarcity are new issues compared to the ones we have been battling with. So because of this Naira thing, and in December, in January, when we just began the year, the major fears of people, of youths, is that, if we go out to vote, will we come back to our houses? Many people were scared, but at this point, people are even more determined to go out there and vote. So for some time now, the focus has shifted from security to other conversations. Now, how crucial is security to the elections ahead? Even at this time?
Yeah, security is still very crucial. And there's no nation that can afford not to provide adequate security for its citizens and even property. So, yes, you are very right that the focus now has been shifted from security to the Naira design, the fuel scarcity, and what have you. That is to show you that an average Nigerian is determined for the forthcoming election. Because we want to elect another set of leaders that perhaps will take us out of all the present challenges we are all facing now. That is not to say that security should not be intensified, because as an electorate, if you go to a polling booth to cast your vote and you now discover that some either miscreants or bandits or Boko Haram or anybody, it just came and start their problems by way of maybe kidnapping people, killing people. So we cannot jettison the issue of security, because it is very, very germane and very key to having a free and fair election wherein the voters, the electorates, will not exhibit any fear to cast their vote for the candidates of their choice. So government should also intensify efforts at providing adequate security for the electorate.
Now, I want you to attend to this question very shortly so that we can go on a short break. We have international observers. We always do, but then we have international observers at this time who have come to give reports about our elections. They have different things to say. Now, does the present security concern warrant that these people are coming in to help with security and things?
Well, the international observers each election year do come to observe the election that is being conducted. It is not peculiar to Nigeria alone. Even other countries too. The observers also do go to other countries anytime they are holding election. So our own is not an isolated case. So for them to have even come now, of course, it's a welcome development, first and foremost. Then, as per the security, of course, they too, they will see with their own eyes the level of our security in Nigeria. And by the time they go back to their various countries, whatever will be their impression about Nigeria is another. That one will be for another day, because we didn't know yet. But I think the good thing is that even when you look at the bandit and the security, it's like it has stepped down a bit now. Meaning that even the bandit, the Boko Haram too, also want change in our government.
I think that's one of the reasons that some Nigerians are clamoring that the new Naira policy should stand, and all of that, because they feel like, oh, since this thing began, we've not heard reports about people being abducted and then somebody charging 20 million in cash and all of that. I think that's also one of the reasons that, oh, even if you demand for money now, people do not have that money to pay. You know that you're only going to be making yourself suffer and at the same time making other people. But because these people knew before that the money was in circulation, people could get it, they could demand for anything they want. Let's get your reaction also on that. Let's get your reaction. 09136556864. That's the number to send in your messages to on WhatsApp. And for your text messages, 080-299-26951. Let's go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
To Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
ẹdúró náà baálé mi ṣébi tẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ mi gbàǹjo òní tá à ń já kòtò tá à ń já gegele náà kọ́ yìí kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́.
Kwara ti yàtọ̀ ní. láyé ìṣèjọba gómìnà Abdulrahman Abdulrazak àkàìmọye iṣẹ́ ojú ọ̀nà ni wọ́n ti gùn lé. kó lè bá àmúlí lọ bíbọ̀ ọkọ̀ àtàwọn èrò tó ń kọjá lójú pópó lọ nírọ̀rùn. iṣẹ́ lọ lọ́wọ́ lórí General Túndé Ìdíàgbọ̀n flyover ní táǹkẹ̀. títí oníbejì láti Yẹ́bùmọ́ roundabout lọ dádẹ́ta tó fi dọ́lọ́jẹ̀. táǹkẹ̀ òkè odò ring road ń kọ́. tó fi máa túnṣe Odiyidi road àti Abdulaziz Ata road nílọrin. tiléṣà bàrùbá wọ gbànàrà níjọba àbílẹ̀ bàrùtì kìlómítà 23 ni. tó fi máa o sí òbò ayégúnlẹ̀ road lẹ́kìtì. tilérè district nífẹ̀ẹ́ lódùn. Coca-Cola Palace road níjẹ̀bà. àwọn ọ̀nà oníworo síworo interlocking lọ bàbẹ̀sùá. ọ̀nà tó gbóndóró kọ amáyọ bypass. olómù road lómù àrán Kamal district nílọrin west. Emir Palace road ní yásùkìrà àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ mélòó la fẹ́ kà.
baálé mi tó bá òun ni tó bá wá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ Malam Abdulrahman jíjẹ ní gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni dìbò fún Malam Abdulrahman Abdulrazak gẹ́gẹ́ bí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara lábẹ́ àsíá ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC. Progress APC máa ṣe lọ.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Alrighty, welcome back, and it's still the DBS on Diamond 88.7 FM. The discussions still continue, and we have some of your reactions right here on WhatsApp, and the phone lines have been buzzing. 09136556952. That's the number to call to be a part of the show, and on WhatsApp 09136556864. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Zio from Kerosene.
All right, very briefly, please.
I want to say that election will definitely hold because the politicians will not want anything to affect their business. And that's why they always want to make sure whatever it is, if the masses are even suffering, their business must continue.
All right.
So we should need that. And then we also want to see to it that there is nothing that can change the other judgment from the Supreme Court, not even executive order from Mr. President.
All right. All right, thank you so much. We have this message on WhatsApp, and it says, the Supreme Court, I believe, will rule the case in the favor of the 3 state governors and for the favor of the poor Nigerians who are suffering because of the unprepared changing of currency, which the CBN governor has done from Igwe, from Ilori. All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Isa from Temijire.
All right, thank you, Mr. Isa. Let us have you.
You said that maybe the kidnapping and bandits has existed because of. I don't think it's because of that. Because we have seen an occasion where even the bandits are displaying the new notes.
Yeah, true.
They are displaying. So it was on it. So I don't think it is because of that. It is just the situation. I think the Central Bank, the Supreme Court has done the right thing. In a situation where we have tension everywhere, nothing to anarchy. I don't think there is any government that can come out on it. If they don't want war, if they don't want more destruction, and I'm sure that when government wants peace, if they want peace, they just allow this thing to go. Even as yesterday when we had this Supreme Court order, see that a kind of calm has come back a bit. If they don't want anything worse, they better allow this rule to go. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Good morning, presenter. My regards to the guests. Yes, I also shared the same sentiments with the Twitter opinion that the ruling of the Supreme Court will not have any significant effect now because many old Naira notes have been taken back to the banks. To me, it is not the time that is the problem, but the method of implementation. The CBN may decide to release little money the way they are doing now. This is what is giving us issues. If CBN has made the accessibility of the cash easier, I think the programs would have been a good policy. From Abdulwahib Okoba. Thank you so much. Oh, we lost that call. Try to call us back. 09136556952. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
My name is Adigun from Elekonyagan.
All right, thank you so much, Adigun. Let's have you.
This election 25 February. We don't need to speak. Let us be starting on this February 25. And the second point, this whole money, let us continue to spend it. New money to start it in Nigeria now. So let us spend the old money.
All right. All right, thank you so much, Adigun, for joining us on the show. Good morning, Toby. But why do banks fail to pay with 100 naira, 50 naira, 20 naira notes if they don't want to give out the new notes? Coming from Mr. Festus from Egbejila, I mean, this is one of the things that I have said. I'm like, just give us our 100 naira notes. We don't care. Those 200 and 500, 1,000, you can hold them, but give us our 100 naira notes. Yes. Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning, Auntie.
All right,
My name is Kolala.
All right, thank you so much. Let us have you.
I thank you again. To me, if you go to the bank, there's a lot of messages like 80 times now. You give you the old money. Even yesterday, they give you 5,000 naira, 50 naira old money. How can you give you a limit? That's the truth. Out of arm of government, the judiciary is there. Let the Baba follow the constitution of this country. Let it follow it. It's not easy. If you collect 5,000 naira as a family man now, go and buy the right now. Give you 950 naira per million. Go and buy the date now. Give you 600 naira. If you buy the time, run a regular time, you give you 1,000 naira. The second day, you are not job. At the next day, you are not job. Two, I thought this is about to collect 30,000 naira per month. See, one goes to go to the bank every day, collect 50,000 naira. Out of the school, you leave the school, you leave the office, you have another work, you collect, you have time to collect another money, another month. That's the only time of the plan of the issue of the election. Everybody must go out to collect your BTC. Election is called Inshallah. Almighty Allah answer our prayer and discuss. Our youth, don't forget your name.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. All right, we also have this message on WhatsApp. It says, "Good morning, House. If the federal government and CBN don't want to cause problem for themselves, they had better allow the Supreme Court order to stand. Must you strangle people to death because you want credible election? If you kill all the people that are going to vote through your policy, who will now make the election credible?" Isa Mohammed Ilori. That was on another level. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Yemi King. I'm calling from Ilorin.
All right, Yemi King, let's have you very quickly.
Yeah, I think the Supreme Court judgment has come at the right time. And the onus is now left on the president to allow that law to stand. And I believe by the time the matter will be heard definitely on the 15th, the Supreme Court will rule in favor of the masses. I want to believe that this policy is done with wicked intention. Now, I've had the opportunity of watching Emefiele 3 times on television. I look at his countenance. He feels satisfied with the way we are suffering. He felt happy, like there's something he is out to achieve, and he's almost achieving it. Now, somebody said it is because of his fake presidential ambition. I want to believe that because he has spent a lot of money buying cars, buying vehicles, and he's doing all this now so as to enable him to recoup what he has spent to buy all those things. It is with wicked intention, and I know it will not stand. And among all the so-called presidential candidates, we can now identify one that is on the side of the masses, Let us open our eyes. Let us be wise. Others are now pretending. They are sitting on the fence. They are not here. They are not there. We know that candidate that is standing by the masses. So God help us.
Amen. Thank you so much. I would like you to round up in 1 minute, sir.
Well, my final take is that as Nigerians, let us persevere and pray for the best to come out of general election of 25 February year 2023.
All right. Thank you so much for coming, Barrister Bisi Adedayo. It's a pleasure to have you on the show this morning, and you've been amazing. We hope that when we invite you subsequently, you show up.
Very well.
All right. My name is Tobi Adebisi, and I want you to have yourself an amazing day despite everything that is happening. I want you to stay strong. I want you to keep a resilient spirit and just be good. Have yourself an amazing day, and don't forget to make Diamond FM your company throughout the day. Bye.